Hey, so you're running from spreadsheets. One thing I suggest you do is convert that spreadsheet into a database, and you'll see why. It makes it much more powerful. So here I have this spreadsheet, which is an asset list, and in this spreadsheet I've got my field names across the top, and then the information underneath. So a fairly standard spreadsheet. And if you want to convert that into a database, it's quite simple. Just grab that and drag it onto your FileMaker icon. Or there's a Create New Database from existing in the FileMaker dialogues. So my field names, my first row was the field names, so I'll press OK there. And now I need to make a name for my new database, so I'll just call it an asset list database. There, and I'll save that. So here it is. So now it's very similar to the spreadsheet that we had, and we can do simple searches, and we can sort and insert charts and do all those sorts of things that we could do in the spreadsheet. So why convert this to a database? And the most important reason is that you can add related information. So now I've got my assets. I can add service histories, I can add photos for incidents, I can add paperwork, registrations, all these sorts of things. And if they were clients, I could add jobs or invoices and view that information in a good user interface. So let's just add some related information now, and I'll add files. I'll add photos and files. So first, to make a relationship work, these assets need a unique asset ID. So I'll start there. There's my asset ID. And I'll just do an automatic entered serial number. So going here to my options, serial number, press OK. Now I'll go back to my tables, and I'll just call that assets because that's what they are. And now I'll want to add my files and photos. So I'll create a new table. And I'll add another unique ID here in case I need it later. And I'll also just make this a serial number. There are other ways to do unique IDs, but this will do. And I'll add my asset ID so I can link it. But that ID comes from the other table, so I don't enter any serial here. I'll add my file or photo. I'll just call it file. Make that a container, so a container can contain any sort of file or photo. And I'll also add some metadata, such as the date that it was entered. And I'll make that an automatically entered field, so that the administration staff or whoever's doing the data entry doesn't have to type that in every time. And I'll automatically put in the creation date, and it can be modified. And I could also add comments, but just for this example, let's just breeze through it. So now to add my relationship, gone over to the relationship tab. I've got my assets and my files, and I want my files to be related to the assets. So I want to store a file against an asset, for example, a photo of a particular trailer. Drag the asset ID to asset ID. Double click on the relation here and allow creation of records in this table via this relationship. With the power of FileMaker, this is a very handy thing. You don't have to script or program up the adding of a record so that they are related. This will handle the relationship for you. It's just so easy, and that's if you're using a portal. So that's that done. Now let's make this layout more useful. First we need to have an asset ID for all of these asset entries. Because it was automatically imported, the asset ID is not filled out. So, sorry, back here to my browse mode. If you've been wondering, I've been swapping between layout mode, where I can change the layout, and then browse mode, where I view the actual data. I'll go up to form view here, go in my asset ID, let's populate that with that unique value. Replace field contents, place it with a serial number, and update the serial number in the entry options. So there we have it. Now every record has its own unique asset ID, and if I create a new record or import more, then that's automatically filled. We don't have to worry about the asset ID anymore. I'll delete this record too because I don't want that empty record. So let's go ahead and remove that asset ID from our layout. Now it's nice having the data all in a line across like that, but I prefer to have it down. So let's just delete delete this and start again. So select all, and I'll just press the delete key. Go to my field picker here, and once again select all, Command A I just pressed, drag it over here, and I don't want that asset ID, I don't need to view it. Now let's add our related information. So this is where it gets more powerful than the spreadsheet. We'll insert a portal, show record from the related table, the files, and I'll add the scroll bar because we're using this on a desktop view. Makes sense to have a scroll bar in desktop view. Alternate row state. Let's put the file in there. That'll do for now. And I'll just have less rows here. Drag this out bigger. We can have 5 files. Open up that. And by default, let's add some lines in between the rows. I'm just doing this because by default it's a bit hard to see in between there as well. Portal row, black, solid line. There we go. Something like that. Actually, let's just get rid of those ones. Okay, so here we are. Now, because we've got that auto enter ticked, I'll go back there again, right here. Or allow creation of records in this table via the relationship. Because we've got that ticked, now all we need to do is go to our portal and insert some information. So I'll insert a file, and I'll insert the spreadsheet that I created this database from, which is all a bit meta, but there we go. And it's in there. And there you go. And now I can add even more pictures and files and more related information. And so there you have it. That's how to convert your spreadsheet in a powerful related database. And now I can look up the information. Let me go back to another example. And now I can add more information here. Insert file. I'll just have that spreadsheet again, for example. And show all. And now my asset 3271 has got that file stored against it. If I go to a different asset, so there you go. That's how that works. Okay, thanks.